Pastor Kristin. Thank you so much for joining me for our midweek video. I have been thinking a lot about the gospel message that we heard this past Sunday about feeding Jesus when he was hungry and who will inherit the earth, and a lot about sheep and goats. So let me just go ahead and read from Matthew 25. Then the king will say to those at his right hand, "Come, you that are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you took care of me. I was in prison, and you visited me." And so these are the people that Jesus says are like sheep. People who did these things to strangers. And when we act kindly to strangers, to our neighbors, this is what we are doing to Jesus. And so with Thanksgiving coming up tomorrow, I think of all the things that I'm specifically thankful for, and I wonder about the things that you're thankful for. And then I think about the world in which we are living. You know, so much work still needs to be done in this world, so much of God's work. And a lot of that can start with how we're treating our own neighbors, how we're treating strangers that we come across. And so I read a children's book last week, and I'm going to read one this week too, because even though it's a children's book, we need to remember we are all children of God. And sometimes the most simple messages are the ones that can mean the most. And so this week, I'm reading Maybe I Can Love My Neighbor Too, written by Jennifer Grant and illustrated by Benjamin Shipper. It has at the beginning, from Leviticus chapter 19, love your neighbor as yourself. I live at the corner of 9th and 19th. Upstairs in apartment 4A, a building is going up across the street. Week after week, it grows taller and taller, climbing up high in the sky. "Mama, will all the new people be our neighbors too?" I ask one day. "Every single person is our neighbor," she says, "whether they live next door or across the street or far, far away." I know I'm supposed to love my neighbors, but how can I love that many people? I ask. Mama gives me a hug. "Oh, honey," she says, "I'm sure you'll find a way. Maybe start by noticing the ways others show love." A man walks by the construction site pushing a shopping cart that's stuffed with blankets and bags. The wheels hit a bump in the road and the cart almost tips over, but one of the workers moves fast to catch it and sets it upright again. Helping someone who's just passing by is a way to show love. Maybe I can love my neighbor too. Mama and I walk down to the park just like we do every day. I see a man and a woman up ahead talking to people while they wait at the light. I stare at the pictures on the man's arms while he tells Mama about people who had to leave their homes because they weren't safe anymore. Mama hands a few dollars to the woman who has a purple stripe in her hair. Giving money so people can have a safe place to live is a way to show love. Maybe I can love my neighbor too. At the park, an old man is shouting his dog's name. "Shadow, Shadow," he calls. A boy runs after the dog, diving to catch him. A minute later, Shadow is back with his owner. The old man says thank you over and over and over. Helping older folks is a way to show love. Maybe I can love my neighbor too. "Mama, look at me," I shout, and she waves from the bench under her favorite tree. When I'm all out of breath, I sit at the edge of the sandbox, watching the other kids play. A girl tosses me a shovel and pail. Then we build the most elegant castle and dig a moat around it. We decorate it with royal flags made of sticks and seeds and leaves. That was kind of that girl, Mama says, when we're walking back home. I liked seeing how she loved her neighbor, and the neighbor this time was you. Sharing toys with a new friend is a way to show love. Maybe I can love my neighbor too. There's sand between my toes, and Mama says it's time for a bath. But then we hear a knock at the door. It's our neighbors from upstairs, and they baked us a loaf of bread. Sharing good things to eat is a way to show love. Maybe I can love my neighbor too. At dinner, I tell Daddy, guess what? I learned something new today. That's what I like to hear, he says. What is it? Every person in the whole world is my neighbor, I say, and I can love them too. I could give my birthday money to someone who needs it more than me, I say. Or I could carry groceries or open doors for people who aren't as strong as I am. I pull up my sleeves and show my muscles. There are a lot of ways, I say. I can be kind to other kids in the park, or even bake something to share with people in our building. I knew you'd find ways to show love to others, Mama says with a smile. Every other person in the whole wide world is my neighbor, whether they live next door or across the street or far, far away. And I know I can love my neighbors too. The end. Maybe we can love our neighbors too. This Thanksgiving, I love for each and every one of us to think about how we can show our thanks and praise to God by how we love our neighbors, by how we love strangers, by how we are being the hands and feet of God at work in the world. We are called to love our neighbors just as God loves each of us. And I leave you with that this week. Let us love our neighbors. Take care and have a very happy, safe, and healthy Thanksgiving.